Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another author spotlight interview here on Tales from the Wandering Scribe. I'm your host, Gabriel Garcia. Many of you know me as the Wandering Scribe and the Wandering Quill. And joining us today is an author making their official debut here on the show. Now, our guest today is a Belgian author, lyricist, creative director, and digital storyteller passionate about creating stories that inspire hope, healing, and self discovery. She writes across multiple genres, from mostly driven fantasy and fairy tales to children's literature. Her published works include Persephonia, A Soul's Journey, The Cause of a Perfect Dream, La Fée Oubliée, I'm butchering that, I apologize, and Heir to the Heart, the first novel in the Castellani Dynasty series. She also shares stories with readers on Wattpad, where her fantasy novel Entre Deux Mondes continues to captivate a growing audience. And for younger readers, she's also created Luna and the Birthstones, a magical children's series that explores emotions, kindness, and self-confidence through enchanting adventures inspired by birthstones. And then beyond her novels, she's also the creator of You Be the Guardians of Light, an original multimedia universe where music, storytelling, and unforgettable characters come together to explore resilience, identity, friendship, and the light people carry within themselves. And whether through her novels, children's stories, songs, or immersive fictional worlds, her work is driven by one singular purpose: exploring the human heart and reminding people that even the darkest chapters can become the beginning of transformation. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause to our wonderful guest today, Cindy Lecaille. Cindy, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. Well, you nailed it. The
Thank
introduction.
you. Thank you, Cindy. I really do appreciate that. I really do. And I must say, what a list of titles you have for yourself. I mean, that is honestly incredible and well deserved. And I'm so very eager to dive deep into not just your books, particularly The Cost of a Perfect Dream, but
Yes.
also your other projects as well. So, before we dive into The Cost of
Mhm.
a Perfect Dream, let's talk a little bit more about you, Cindy. Let's start at the very beginning. What was the aha moment or moments that got you invested into creating original works?
Okay, so I think that I've always been creative for as long as I remember. I started writing 10 years ago, but I've been discouraged and I stopped. But then it came back, and it came back even stronger, if I can say that. And I started again. And from that moment, I think that I knew deep down that writing was a part of me. It was not just a passion, it was really who I was. And now I just can't stop anymore, because if I would stop, it would mean that I would um, abandon a part of myself. Um, so yes, it's not like a real haha moment, but it's really a part of who I am, and I had to understand that, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely, Cindy. Now, let's talk a little about your written works for a second. So, I'm very curious, out of all of your written works, which was sort of like the starting point for your journey as an author? Was it your children's books or was it your novels that came first?
My novels came first. So the very first book that I published is Persephonia, this a soul's journey. Because this is the book that allowed me to also heal myself at the same time.
Mm,
I put a lot of myself in that book. So my own experience, my own healing. It is a fiction, It's not a biography or anything. It is a fiction, but it is a lot of my own experience that is in the book, and so it's very personal.
Nice.
So this is the first book, and then that's how my passion came back, and how I knew that I had to continue writing. And so after Persephonia, I actually went back into my drawer and found my old manuscript, you know, and I had French book there. And so I rewrote La Fée Oubliée, notably, as you saw in my introduction. So I rewrote that. Then I did The Cost of a Perfect Dream. And then I started the children's series because I wanted to also touch children and give them a message of hope, and guide them and help them how to deal with their emotions.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Cindy. And of your novels, the one that, as you mentioned earlier before we recorded, but also had a chance to look at your social media, the one book out of your novels that you've been really pushing to market and really promote is The Cost of a Perfect Dream. Now,
Yes.
without revealing too much in terms of spoilers, what is the overall story of The Cost of a Perfect Dream?
Okay, so The Cost of a Perfect Dream is a contemporary, sorry, contemporary dark fairy tale retelling. It is about chasing perfection, but what is the cost of chasing perfection? It is about identity, about self-growth, about what can you lose when you are chasing a dream and that you are not actually seeing what you actually have next to you. So this is primarily how to find your own identity. Basically, this is this is that. In general, this is that.
Nice. Very, very nice. Now, when writing The Cost of a Perfect Dream, as an author who has branched out into so many different styles of, writing, as you mentioned earlier, you also write children's literature as well. For this particular book, what was the goal you had for it from the beginning? And ultimately, what was the promise you were making, not just to yourself, but also not only your fans who have been with you for, a very, very long time, but also fans of the genre that you're writing into, the dark fairy tale fantasy genre?
So when I write a book, my first thought is I have a message to tell. I have something that I want to share. I have something that I want to tell, and this message transform into a story, into a world, into characters, and I know that the readers that read my book, what they expect of me is a story with a message, a reflection, something that when they close the book, they have this sense of, okay, now I'm thinking about something.
Mhm.
Reflect on something in my life, or I have hope, or I have something really that stays with me. Basically, that's what I heard from my readers, at least. And so I know that I do different genre, but there is always the same thing that is in my book is really those message of that encourage people to develop themselves, to think about um, another perspective, for self growth, to have hope, and this is really my primary mission when I write a book. And so when I wrote the Cost of a Perfect Dream, that was my thought. But also another thing, it's that I thought about my grandmother when I wrote
Mm,
that book, because that book was dedicated to my grandmother, and Gisela is actually inspired by my grandmother. And it was somehow also the message was related to her too.
nice. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Cindy. And from what you've been telling me thus far, it really does seem you have really have that passion for not only just storytelling, but also, taking people into a safe space with your writing, not only for adults, but also for children as well, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Which kind of leads into another question I have for you, and this is also about your background as a lyricist. And I'm very curious of how you've combined, being an author with being a lyricist. And this is actually a fan question that was sent to me not too long ago from previous discussion. But this question asks, have you ever combined one of your music or a song into your writing, or a song inspired a chapter in one of your writings?
Yes, actually, yes. Uh, I love writing songs because when I write songs, I not only process my own feelings, but I also love sending messages through songs. But many songs are inspired by books, or actually, all my books have a song in them. That's a funny thing. For example, Persephonia. I wrote a song that can accompany the book. My children book have their own lullaby. So each month, each book, they have their own lullaby. So there is a QR code at the end of the book, and so the parents can actually scan the QR code, and they can hear the lullaby. It's part of the charm of the the series. And for example, the Heir to the Heart, the new book, very recent new book. Um, I also wrote a song for it, but not only for me. I also wrote songs for other author.
Really?
Yes.
Nice. Very, very
Yeah.
nice.
So for characters that inspire me, that I really connect with, sometimes I just write a song, and that becomes an anthem, the anthem song of the character, or even the book theory. And one of the song is from one of my friend, that is from the United States, um, Jade Calloway, and I wrote a song that is called "Run on Instinct," and it's for a book that is called "The Hollow," and she loved it. So basically, we released it. So yeah, I write songs for books.
Ooh, that's really cool, Cindy. That is really, really cool. Which has then brought up another fan question, but this time I'm going to tweak it a little bit. And this question is going to combine characters. Now, as you mentioned just now, you've also had characters inspire songs that you have written. So I'm going to ask you this question, and this has been the question that has stumped a lot of authors across numerous interviews. Which character did you enjoy writing a song for that you absolutely loved? And secondly, which character was the most difficult to write a song for? Or you can even go for like a book as well. That would be easier.
Which character was the easiest to write a song for? Actually, mm, you know what? I really connected with a character that his name is Captain. It's also from a book series of Jade Calloway, but it's called Eternity Island. But when I read the book and I read about Captain, I connected to the character so much that the song came like right away, and I wrote the song so fast. It was amazing. I mean, in 20 minutes the song was written. So I think that it was very very fast. So
Nice.
um, when I really connect to a character, that the song can be written very fast. So it was the easiest song. One that was more difficult. I guess I would say that while I really love Persephonia, it might have been more difficult because it was
Mm,
very personal, and very touching also. And the song is absolutely beautiful. But the first time that I wrote it and I heard it, it made me cry because it is very, it's not a sad song, but it was so, how can I say that? It touched my heart so much that
right.
I think that it was very difficult emotionally.
Mm,
Yes.
absolutely. So it had like a very deep meaning to you.
Yes.
And this is the one, correct me if I'm wrong, this is also the story that you dedicate to your grandmother, correct? This is the same story. Was that a different story?
No, Persephonia was the first book. Persephonia was the first book that I wrote that's about my healing journey.
Ah, okay. Got it. Got it. Well, that is absolutely incredible, Cindy. And I think you're probably, I could be wrong, but I think you're now the second author that I've had on the show that not only writes books, but also wrote songs for not only their books, but also characters for other stories as well. And that I think is a beautiful skill and talent. And I'm very, very curious. So, across all of your books branching into your novels and your children's stories, I'm very curious, um did you ever have at any point in your journey a sense of imposter syndrome? Because all authors and all creatives have that, that little voice in our heads that tell us that we're not doing enough or we're in the wrong field. And I find it interesting with authors, especially because whether we are small press, traditional, hybrid, or indie, there is still that stigmatism or reaction. And a lot of authors I've had on the show have said that they never told friends or family that they were authors until their books had so many reviews, so many follows, or anything like that. But for you and your journey, when did you feel comfortable in not only telling friends and family that you were an author, but also telling yourself and claiming ownership of that title, that you are an author, you are a lyricist, you are all these incredible things?
Okay. So yes, Of course, I had the imposter syndrome. I think we all have it. I think that for the other part, I had it 10 years ago when I got discouraged. I think that was probably a part of it. When I wrote Persephonia, suddenly I said, I am an author and I'm going to stop hiding. That's for the author part, but for the
Right.
lyricist part, that's another story.
Mm.
So for the lyricist part, I came to say it about 6 months ago, I think.
Mm.
Because I was writing song for a long time, but I wasn't doing anything with them. And then came the book, the writing song for the book, and it was amazing. It's my friend, my author friend, so Jade Calloway, she was saying, that's amazing, you write such beautiful songs. And then came You Be the Guardians of Lights, my anime series and webtoon, that is actually linked to music, because that is really part of it. So you cannot have the anime without the song, because
Right.
it's linked. The stories are linked to the song. And from the moment I started to work on songs for other authors and on songs for You Be the Guardians of Light, I started to say, okay, I'm a lyricist.
Nice.
And I started to tell myself, okay, you know what? Don't hide anymore. Don't hide who you are. Don't hide the fact that you're a lyricist. Don't hide the fact that you're a digital creator. Don't hide the fact that you're actually an artistic director, because you are all that, and that's who you are. And just say so. And so I just decided I would change all my social media, just not I put just not author, but everything I was, and I started to introduce myself as multiple multiple things, not just author, but author, lyricist, digital. That's a lot of title, but
Yes,
yes.
but well-deserved titles, well-deserved. And there's also now leads into the next question, which I'm very keen to learn more about, and that's of course your role as a digital creator of You Be the Guardians of Light, which I'm very curious of how that came about. So for our viewers, what can you tell us about You Be the Guardians of Light and what it's like ultimately and entails, and what does it mean for you not only as a digital creator but also as a digital storyteller?
Okay, so You Be the Guardians of Light is my project that mix everything that I love. So it is storytelling, it is music, and it is visual storytelling. And this is all I'm passionate about, really. So it's so dear to my heart that I work a lot on it. And You Be the Guardians of Light. This is a story about guardians that live in an entirely created universe that's called Lumiverse. And so what they do is that they keep the balance between shadows and light. So they fight the shadows when necessary to keep the balance. But really, my ultimate goal with the series is really to say to people, whenever there is darkness, you can always find the light. Just look inside, turn on the light, and you will find it, because because that's my own experience.
Mhm.
In the darkest moment, you can always find the light. You just need to look for it, and it will be there. And so that's why the series, and that's why I started the series, and that's why each episode actually send another message, gives a different perspective of each. What can I say? I mean, each episode has a situation that someone can relate to, and a hope, a message of hope at the end that someone can take with him and reflect on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Cindy. And this kind of leads into another big question, and that is, of course, an author's authenticity and understanding, who they're writing for. And you kind of hinted at this in the beginning, but I'm wanting you to go a little more in depth when discussing, you're in so many things. I mean, you're an author, you're a digital creator, you're a digital storyteller, you're lyricist. You are doing so many things, and yet, despite doing so many things, you still maintain your voice and your authenticity. So how are you able to do that, to tell your voice across different mediums and platforms, and not get overwhelmed with either or?
I think it's because I I just want I'm me, I'm myself, and I want to deliver the message that is important for me. And I I I have I feel that it's so important to be authentic, that I am just authentic in everything I do. So I guess that's why. And I am very passionate too. So maybe my passion gets out that way as well. It is felt in my work. The authenticity is very true. And so even though I work in different ways, in different genre, my voice doesn't change, because it's still authentic, it's still passion, it's still me delivering a message, just in a different way.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this next question, which I think is a very, very important one, it is, of course, the dominance that AI is having in the creative spheres, for authors, for digital creators, for even the music industry as well. And I would just like to hear your thoughts, Cindy, on, the rise of AI, because I think we can all agree that AI is not going anywhere. It's going to be here no matter what. And if we use it as a tool and treat it as a tool, I think we can be fine. We can use AI to help our writing, help our creative craft, but not use it to generate stuff like that. Because I think that's also what another people have a bigger issue with, and rightly so, is generative AI. And I'm sure you probably have seen, not only as an author but also as a lyricist, AI generated songs that are now being popularized on all the platforms. It's just everywhere. So I would like to hear your thoughts on this matter, Cindy, since you kind of tackle like a whole bunch of different avenues.
Yes, well, I'm kind of glad you asked, because I have a lot of thoughts about it. Okay, so actually, the thing is, like you said, if you use AI as a tool, and with consciousness, then it's just a tool. It's not it's not AI that does your work. And I think that's the problem that we have now, is that you have the people that thinks that AI does everything, and you
Mhm.
have the people that are kind of scared of AI and chase. It's like you have a witch hunt with AI, and
Yes.
it's kind of a strange thing that is happening with all that AI. But actually, if you use AI as a tool to help you do something that you're passionate about, then AI is actually good. Because let's be realistic. Ask AI to actually write a book entirely with a world that we build, us author, that we actually think about, that we build, that we write entirely. It's impossible. There is inconsistencies. The world is not built correctly. The characters are not deep. It's no. It's just no. So even if we use AI as a tool to correct our texts or to ask AI, okay, can you tell me what happens in Japan in the 16th century? I mean, that's a tool. Is there to actually help us. And that's actually fine because yes, you could do research on the internet, but then you'd spend hours. AI can actually give you that in a few minutes.
Yes. Absolutely. Well said. Well said, Cindy. And I think, as you mentioned earlier, the AI witch hunt are getting a little too out of control, where authors are accusing other creatives of using AI, whether it's in their covers, whether it's in their stories, or whether it's for narration. Now, some will argue that they're using AI because it is a more affordable option just for them, because that there is some truth to that. To be an author, it is a very lonely, very starving artist experience. But even with that said, AI, generative AI gets better the more times you put prompts in it. If you ask generative AI to keep doing the prompt it's given you, you're going to see completely different. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. And it's ultimately getting, too out of hand. But that's the thing I like doing these interviews. Another important thing is to bring awareness, to have authors speak on this, and to showcase, their thoughts and their concerns about where the industry is going. And as we're nearing the end of this incredible spotlight, Cindy, I am just very curious. You, as mentioned in your bio, you are a very creative individual who has looked at so many things and has really found their place, a home in the writing community. What would you say are some of the books and authors that have inspired your works in some way? And are there any particular people that you would like to give a shout out who have helped you on your journey or have supported you on your quest?
Okay, so the author that has inspired me, the first is Mark Levy. So this is the author that impressed me the most. He actually showed me that a story can be emotional, that it can be thought-provoking, and that you can really leave a mark with a story. And as for the shout out, of course, I want to make a big shout out for Jade Calloway. She became a really good friend. We met through Instagram, but
Nice.
uh, since we met, we supported each other a lot, and she's really brilliant. And her books are actually exceptional. And if you never, if the listeners never read her book, I really recommend it. So The Hollow or Eternity Island. Um, she's great and I love her. So big shout out.
Awesome.
um, so yeah, Jade Calloway.
Nice. Very, very nice, Cindy. And as we officially wrap up this incredible spotlight interview here on the show, at the end of the day, Cindy, what do you hope readers will take away from your journey and your story being part of so many things? Your books, your lyrics, you as a creative, everything. What is your hope?
My hope is that every readers or fans of my anime will take away a message of hope, a message to see life with another perspective, something to think about, something to reflect. That's my goal, and if I can have one person that can go away with that, then I'm really happy.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Cindy. And I just actually remember just now there was one final question I wanted to ask you. It was a bonus question. And this one is an old question from the past. So it's almost like a little role play question. So imagine you are at a panel, at a convention, and you are with some of the best in the industry for fantasy, for children's literature, fairy tales, and more. And you're asked so many important questions. And this particular audience member asks you guys this question. This question on, getting into the industry, it's not a get rich quick scheme. There's no guarantee you're going to be a success because, the industry is like a roller coaster. So there's going to be some highs, there's going to be lows. Some people are going to be more successful than others. So, how would you answer this question pretty much on just because there's no guarantee you're going to be a success, it shouldn't deter you from pursuing and honing your craft if this is truly the industry you want to be a part of?
Well, I actually I write because I love it. I write because I write for myself and for the one person that will read my book and will actually love it and will take away the hope that I want that person to have. So even if I sell one book at the end of the month, doesn't really matter. For me, it's the important thing is I am a writer, I am a creator, I am a creative person, and that's my world, that's my oxygen, and I want to continue to do it. That's what matters the most for me.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful, Cindy. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude another incredible spotlight interview here on Tales from the Wandering Scribe. I want to give a huge thank you to Cindy for coming on the show and joining us today and telling her story to all of us here on the channel. Now, Cindy, where can people find you on social media if they want to reach out and connect, as well as buy a copy of The Cost of the Perfect Dream, as well as your other novels and children's stories as well?
Okay, so for the social media, they can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is cindy.l2906. And on Facebook, they can find me on Cindy Lec, LEC. For my book, they can find it on Amazon. Everywhere on Amazon, actually, in every country. They can find it as a paperback or as an ebook, and also on Kindle Unlimited. It's all my books are there, but Heir to the Arts is on Wattpad for the moment because I am making it for the moment free on Wattpad until I release it as a paperback.
Awesome. Awesome. I will link all that down below in the description of this video, viewers and listeners. Thank you again so much for joining us for another amazing episode here on the show. We only have a few episodes left for the month of July before we go into August. And I do want to take this point to say that if you are a fellow creative, whether you're an author, artist, narrator, editor, or a mix, or even a fellow historian or historical content creator, applications are open. I'll provide the link down below in the description of this video, or you can go to my website at thewanderingscribe.com where you can apply there. Again, everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. A huge thank you to Cindy for coming on the show. And if I see you're back for a full-length interview where we talk about more the behind the scenes of The Cost of the Perfect Dream, or more about her other works as well, you know what you have to do. Like this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, this has been the Wandering Scribe and the Wandering Quill signing out. Wish you all a wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll see you all next time.